Hi there, my beautiful people. This is Dr. Rosaline Sebolao once again from Home of Inspiration. I can't believe that we're already in the 11th month of 2021. I just want to welcome you. Today in Bloemfontein, it's a bit chilly, but it's nice anyway. We're enjoying the weather. And Home of Inspiration, as I always say, we are about professional development and life coaching. And in life, I meet or interact with so many people that impact positively on my life. So today I have a very special one. I'm sure you're saying now we don't know which one is special. All of them are special. I interact with great men and women who will leave an impact, a positive mark in my life. And I am so blessed to say today I am with OCD. To you, some of you, it's Mama Tidi or Mkono Tidi. You can see how beautiful she is, and she'll tell us about herself. But I have had an opportunity to interact with her for many years, as you will hear in our interaction today. So, Ostidi, welcome to Home of Inspiration, and thank you for welcoming us into your beautiful home. It's lovely. I'm excited to be here with you again. Can you just greet my viewers and tell them briefly who Motshedisi is?
Good morning, Dr. Rosaline Sebolao, and good morning to everybody, all the viewers at home. Firstly, I would like to say I really appreciate the opportunity given to me by Home of Inspiration. It has been a wonderful time for me, particularly when I talk of Rosaline. I know Rosaline from a very young age. So when she develops, during her time of developing from one level to another, I was really looking at her. Now at this level, I so appreciate it. So I would like to say, Dr. Sebolao, thank you very much and congratulations for all the developments that I've seen you going through them.
Thank you so much.
Viewers, you are talking to Thidi Matape, married to Mogoera. I'm born with seven sisters and one brother who has just left us. My parents' father was Huitumeji and mother Sipho. My mother was a Zulu girl from Natal.
Yeah.
I would like to forget that because she used to remind me of that. Now, we grew up in a home where there was really love and discipline. So I wouldn't want to go further until doctor really gives me opportunity to express myself. Actually, who am I? I'm a Joanna girl. Muratile o setlhare magama ka noko matlola ka kgare ke Thidi Mogoera o.
Wow.
So thank you very much, Doc.
Thank you. Wow, Ostidi, that's a lovely one. If I was able to relate, I would have really did But it's really amazing. And for people, because this is viewed by many people all over the world, for those who do not know, we are in Bloemfontein, a city of roses in the Free State in South Africa. So us Motshedisi here, we interacted in a number of ways. Firstly, when I got married at 24 years, my husband stayed in the same street where Ostidi also was married. So she's got stories about that, but it's not about my husband today. So OCD is a professional nurse, and for most of you who know, I'm not a doctor, medical doctor, I'm an academic, but I am by profession, I'm a nurse. So these are the people that I used to look up to, and I never want to forget the people that I admired as I grew in my profession as a nurse. So OCD, just briefly tell me now. You can actually tell more about your family, because when I talk about professional development, when you grew up in the family of love and respect, you see the professionalism in the family, and that's what actually makes you this professional, even before you became a professional nurse. Just share with us.
You know what, Doc? If I could tell you about, particularly my father, My father was a loving, caring, humble, selfless father. What I know most about him, he brought up many children. Apart from us, the 8 children that he had, there are many others in the family, even outside the family, whom he brought up. Now, with all what he was a teacher by profession. My mother was a teacher by profession. But now, my father was not taking that into his head. He knew that he was a community developer, very much community committed. So we copied that, gradually copied that from him. We were not aware. What I know, if I say my father was a disciplinarian, you know what, when we grew up, once a time he bought a car, and when we were going to school, he used to give us lift to school as children. Going to the same, he was a principal there. He would give us a lift in the morning to go to school. People, you know what he did? When we were just nearing the school, he would tell us to jump out of the car. We should walk like any other child who gets into the gate without any transport. So it would seem to us as children, but my papa was Papa. Why does he do that? We only noticed that later on that this was a discipline and teaching us that we are not the only. We should learn to share and to learn to be with other people. Don't think that because your father would do this, even among the other children, you are above it. He was that type of a person.
Sure, that's a very good attribute, because and we really pray that we could have many of Ndade Matlapes, because he wanted you to be like any other child, to be treated like any other child, in spite of the privileges that you had of coming from a principal's home. Yeah.
Now, if you have to, I can write a book about my father. If I could be given an opportunity, I can write a book about my father. Apart from about sharing, he was a loving father, and he was involved in the family, in his children, bringing them up. My mother was most of the time in business, so the children were without the mother to bring them up. But my papa was sharing that when he was after school, when he came from school, what he did, you won't believe me. After 4 o'clock, it's the time for homework. Everybody will come one by one to his table.
Oh my word! He was a teacher
one by one. You come and tell the problems and the homework that you have, so that he teaches you and guide you where to go, to how to go about it. After you, there's the next one. Because we are so many at home, people, we are really many. I don't know how did he manage, because at the moment, right now, I cannot afford to have so many children in a home. So he will continue doing that one by one until he completes. After completing, helping everybody, he goes to there was a roster that he had in our bedroom. Everybody, Thidi, you do this at this time. The next one, Jolie, you do this and that the next time. Maria, you do just like that. All of us, everybody knows what to do at what time. That is how my father was. So when he goes after helping us, he goes to business to help Mama. The time when he comes late in the evening, he knows everything is orderly. He knows everything is orderly because he has allocated everybody to do things accordingly. That's how my father was. Wow. It was just a pleasure, because now we are always afraid to be beaten by her, because by him. In fact, at home, if there's anything wrong that we have done, they were both of them. They will come and patch you up. Both of them, not only one. Mama would never look at Papa Arabiza. No, Papa and Mama, they will do the same thing. That's how that's how we grew up.
Wow.
So we were really very much
Yeah.
disciplined.
What I like, you say Mama was a businesswoman, and now it tells me where you got the business acumen from, because Ma'am this is a businesswoman, so we'll come to that. And
Yes.
as she's speaking, OCD, in this book that I always, advocate for, I speak about wisdom from the school of life. Now, just the little bit that we've had from OCD is the wisdom about her father, and there's more about her. So enough about Ndari Matlape. I love doing Ndari Matlape, but now we want to speak about OCD.
Right.
Yes.
Now, if I'm to talk about myself, I'm a professional nurse, and I did my primary education in Bloemfontein because I was born in Bloemfontein. I did my secondary education at Moroka in Tabancho. I further on studied in UOFS.
Mm-hmm.
My training, my training nursing, Pelononi Hospital. I even went to Kronstadt. I also trained at Mafeking.
Okay. So in Kronstadt, was it community or midwifery?
It was midwifery.
Midwifery. Okay.
It was midwifery.
Right. Yeah, I remember most of you were doing midwifery in Kronstadt.
And then in Mafeking, it was psychiatry.
Okay.
Yes. Right. And then my education, I did it at the UOFS.
All right.
That is.
So this is an educator, people. I'm talking with a great woman. Now you'll understand what I mean when I say I'm so blessed to have interacted with OCD. Yes.
Now, if I'm to talk about my career, I had a passion. I noticed very late that I really have a passion in nursing. I think it was motivated by my aunt was a nurse, so I used to clean her shoes and the uniform. So I was much motivated whenever I see her dressed up. And then apart from that, nursing caring, I really learned it from my father. When coming to me as a nurse, you know what? When I noticed that when I retired, because when I retired, I still had that residual energy. I didn't know what to do. I was tired of cooking every day, cleaning the house every day. I said to myself, I would want to deal with the community. So my passion was to help and assist the families in the community, especially those around me. So I retired, and then I opened up an NGO. I organized people to open up an NGO. It's where my life started now to show the passion, which was revealed very clearly when I was on pension.
That's Thidisanang. That's when you started Thidisanang.
That is Thidisanang. Now, with Thidisanang, I would like to talk about this, how I started with Thidisanang. When we started after 1994, when this dispensation of gender equality started, at work, when I was still working, I was instructed to lead the program in the farms, gender equality, where I was dealing mostly with the girl child. You remember very well that before we were talking mostly of the girl child, taking the girl child to work, doing this, and the boy child was a little bit, we didn't talk much about the boy child. The result, the events that we used to have in the farms, it was the girl child and the mothers. Now, what I noticed when we were going all around is that there was a lot of lack of information from the community. So now I said to myself, this can't be when I'm at home, when I know very much that the community needs a lot of information. Now I've got to start something. Then I started that NGO. I was a founder of it. It is called Thidisanang Women's Health Center. The name Thidisanang, it is we should really care for one another. Women's Health Center I thought of that because then I have just done the project on women, the women and the girl child.
Wow.
That's how the whole thing started. Now, starting with Thidisanang, when I retired, I was training the people around on HIV,
Wow.
training people on home-based care, and I went on that way. But now, you know, to educate people, it takes too much from me to do it. It needs people who could help you.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, let me just change a little bit and then add something on that. Now, what I did, I was contracted with social development to do the social projects. Now, the social projects the firstly that I did, it was the girl child again. It was the girl.
And maybe just to tell the viewers that City has only one boy, but there she was talking the girl child.
I think it is because of that.
Yeah.
I think it is because of that. Because now I brought up my only boy, and then the second one, Puhisho, and then I got the grandson, is a boy. So I was very much interested in the girl child.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, what happened is this. I continued with social development with all the events that we were doing around Bloemfontein, that is now Botshabela, Batlocation, and Rockland, and Pahameng. Most of the time we were doing that. And then from there, what Thidisanang is doing right now, we are also rolling out the main care project, which is rendered by gender justice. Sonke gender justice. Now, there is this main care training where we all know that caring, men were not so much involved in caring. So the program and the training that we are doing is to teach our young boys to start caring at a very young age, to teach them how to care for their families, how to care for themselves, starting with themselves, and then caring the home. And when they are elderly, they should know how to care for their children. That's what we are doing.
Wow.
And then, apart from that, we are dealing with the families. Now, dealing with the families, what we do, we are trying to strengthen the relationship within the family members. We all know that we are having problems with our children at home, and most of the time there will be a strained relationship between the parents and the children, especially the boys. You'll find the boys even gone out of the home, staying outside because of what? Of their behavior and the rigid relationship in a home. So now we are trying to be with the family, to teach the parents the parental skills, how to go about when the child has a problem like drugs, like alcohol, sometimes they become very, very negative. Now, parents trying to let the parents know that they've got to have a tremendous amount of patience.
And support.
There is and support. They are to be supported. You've got to go through the problem that we have. You've got to go through that problem with them. You don't just leave them to say it does not help. So that is what we do. And then the other thing that we are doing, we are also the agents for recruitment of carers. For example, let me give you an example. You have an elderly person at home, and we don't know where to get a person who can nurse there. So you just phone us this side, and then you tell us what you want.
Sure.
We've got a database of the people who really wants to be
Who are
doing the
carers.
care, who are
Yeah.
carers. So we also do that.
Sure.
So
Ostidi, I am so it's like I didn't know you. What amazes me, is that this woman is long retired. And some years back, if I remember, it's either 2007, 8, she became my business partner with our partner Trevor Lombard.
Yes,
who is
yes,
now
yes,
in
I
Cape Town.
remember. Yes.
Because we were doing wellness services for the Free State Department of Education.
Yes.
And I specifically identified the two people to work with because of the integrity that I've noticed in them and the professionalism. Trevor is a social worker by profession. Me and you are professional nurses. I was doing coaching. So OCD did not say I'm retired. That was a demanding work. And I just want to share with the viewers that we would always have meetings at your place because she has an office, well-equipped office, which at some point I would like you to talk about when you talk about empowering young people. So we would agree that we have a meeting at 8 o'clock. And when I park my car outside, I would meet OCD going for a walk. And I'm like, OCD, but we have a meeting. She says, no, Ross, go in the house and get tea. I'll be back. Because she believed in physical activity, and she still does. So I just want you to share with me what makes you what keeps you this young. Because if I tell them that you are nearing 80 years, nobody would believe it.
Yes, they won't believe. Doc, firstly, I would say my father was a tennis player.
Oh.
So now, whenever he went to play tennis, he used to take me along with him.
Okay.
So after playing, he would leave me with young boys to teach me tennis.
Okay.
So I've been in love with tennis for quite a time. When I was at Moroga, I was also playing tennis.
Okay.
Now, my body always tells me, please, I need to move. I need to move. When I don't move, I really become sick.
Yeah.
Which I still continue with up to now. Every morning, if I haven't exercised, it's just a problem to me. I don't know what to do. So,
sure. I think that's a good habit that we must develop as people, because that helps a lot. And I always say I don't feel good, because when you exercise, your mind also is exercise. It has got the oxygen. In the office, they laugh because sometimes I get out of the office running and they say, what's wrong? I say, I just need oxygen in my brain. I'm trying to get oxygen. But because we sit for a long time on the computers.
Okay.
I need to have my oxygen going down. So I would run to the bathroom and come back in the office. Yes.
But at the same time, that it has a disadvantage if you are too energetic too much. Because now children at home, they take an advantage. They are inclined to be lazy because they know that mama will be there, will come and do this and that and that.
That is
sometimes
so true. Because I do everything in my house.
Yeah, that. And then the other thing, I always, when I'm not going too far, I will be in the car. It's fine. I'll just jump out of the car when it's nearer. But when I'm in town, I always leave a car in a distance from where I'm going, so that I should have a stretch of the walk. But
some
now
of us we want to park next to the door.
That's the thing. That is now the thing. That is the thing. Now the children will take the car now. And then start saying, Mama, we really so they are going in the car. That is now the problem.
Wow. Obviously, I'm really inspired about physical activity. Even when you go into a bathroom, there's something, a small machine where she exercises in the morning. So I really am impressed, because in the book I talk about interacting with our bodies, because your body is your mind, body and soul. If your body is not healthy, then it affects your mind or your functioning of your lungs. So all the organs of our bodies need to you really work together. So that is interaction without really, before you say interacting with people, you know, so that's very inspiring. Now, with it, going back to your business, there are a lot of young people that you have empowered through Thidisanang. I know that I have really referred many people who struggling with the carers, and you've always assisted them to say, no, we've got these people. But I want us, because when we talk professional development, we always get young people who start with you as a clerk. But when they leave from your business, they are so good because of the discipline and the development that you guide them with.
Yeah, it's true, Doc. And you know, when I started with Thidisanang, I wished to have young people, because firstly, my point was to develop them, to know, to be exposed to work.
Yes.
Because now, when they are still young, they don't know this, you know, the working environment.
Work ethic as well.
Yeah, the work ethics, they don't know that. You've got to teach them, you know, bit by bit, that when you are on duty, you've got to do 1, 2, 3. You are bound to do it. It's not that haseko hamama, or I will do whatever that you want to do.
Yes.
It's not that way. So I always want to deal with them. We try to teach them as well. I try to teach them the skills, how to deal with the community, because the community people will come in one by one, and there's no chance of talking as you like to the people. Yes. You've got to respect the people, and at the same time marketing on what our objectives at the center. That's how we go on, and of course they've got to love their job. They've got to love their job. That's how I teach them. If it happens that one leaves, I'm definitely not going to take another elderly one. I always want the young people, because we're trying to prepare them for the future.
True.
Many of them that I had now, some of them are training. They have left the center. They are training. The others are working somewhere else. They still come to the center. Up to now, they still come to the center.
I remember Karabelo.
When we talk of Karabelo worked for 10 years when we started, and many others who are coming behind them. We are still continuing the same way.
So, Ostiri, you're such an inspiration and a blessing to our community, because this is where government finds employees from you, you know, and companies, because you have already prepared them. And we still struggle with work ethic even now in companies. So if we could, in our small companies, if these young people can understand that we are teaching them even for their own businesses. Because if you own a business, you would need to succeed. And you cannot succeed without those skills that you're talking about. The discipline, you know, the integrity is very important.
Okay.
Wow.
So now that is now Thidisanang. The Thidisanang, as well as we are working with the NGOs, you know, with some of their programs. We are supported by social development and supervised by social development, where we are rolling out the projects or whatever planning or training that is supposed to be done. We are supervised by them. But now, at the same time, what is happening right now, the new programs that are coming up to be trained, the very young people that are in the center, we train them first. Now, after that, they are the very people who go out and teach the family. They confront the community, and they develop themselves.
Wow.
And somehow, we don't know, perhaps later on, that could be a job for them.
True.
Because now the project is new, and it started with the NGOs, but later on it has to develop. It cannot just, you've got to sustain the project, and then they continue with it. That's what is going on.
When you talk about you have to sustain the project, it brings me the sustainable, development goals,
Okay.
the world. Because as I listen to you, all the things that you're doing, you are contributing to all the 17,
Yes,
most of the
definitely.
sustainable development goals. And having said that, I always share that I love gardening. I love planting my own vegetables, and Ostidi just behind her here. She has a beautiful garden. She eats from her garden, and she really eats very healthy. As I say, I've learned so much from you. So before I could even have a garden, she has always had it. So I really admire for that. And this is what we want to teach our communities, Ostidi. Recently, we've just registered an NPO.
Yes.
So my goal is just on sustainable living. So I definitely have taken so much wisdom from interacting with you and what you have done, and you will still see that. I'll probably at some point invite you just to come and see what I'm doing.
Okay.
So this is the work, the empowerment that you have done in my life. So it's I'm doing this so that I can share the wisdom, your wisdom, with my world,
Yes.
but that I have benefited from. So I've done this. I'm doing this recording mainly because I don't want to feel guilty that when God has taken you, I have not shared with the world what you have done. There are many people who are doing so much work in our world, and when they are dead, we always go to the graves and cry and talk to them. They can't hear us. I do this while people are still alive. This is what God has really blessed me with. I love doing this. So the reason why I said, Ostidi, can I talk to you? While I want to bless you with this recording, I want to bless the world with your wisdom. Yes, so in my book, I talk about the wisdom from the School of Life, about many people that I've met. And for you, I always say, Ostidi, I am praying to God. We need a book with Ostidi, with the life, the rich life that you've lived. And God will help us to do that.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yes. Your son is Itumele.
My son
Tell us about your son.
Yes.
That I love so much.
My son is Itumeleng. Itumeleng has done, he attended school at Natal University, where he did, what course is this now? I've forgotten the course.
It's not too many things. I don't remember others.
It was marketing.
Okay.
It was marketing. And Itumeleng was quite a bit unfortunate when he completed his, let me start with his matric. When he wrote his matric final at Moroga, his father passed away when he was still writing. I was so scared that he's going to fail matric. But I was surprised when the results came. He was just on top. He did very well, despite the fact that he was hurt, the father had left him. And then that was over. Immediately after matric, he got a bursary. He went to Natal University. Now he went there and completed, he did marketing. Now, the other thing that surprised me, after completion, the results were out this year, let me say December, and already he had a job which was, he was already booked for another job in SAB.
My goodness.
SAB.
Yeah, SAB Broadcasting. Yes.
Not SAB Broadcasting.
Which one?
Broadcasting.
Oh, SABC.
SABC, yes. Yes,
right.
he got a job there. He was marketing there.
Goodness.
And he went all out for that. And because of performance that he was doing, he was even sent to France as an award for the performance that he's doing. Now, at the moment, let me just to cut a long story short, with all that, he decided to say, no, I want to be an entrepreneur. He doesn't want anymore to work. Now he is also involved in energy programs. His business is in energy, right, at the moment. So
the reason why I specifically asked you about Rosanna, I just want our viewers to see that he has actually got that from the mother. You got it from your mother, your family, and then you are actually, it's cascading down to your family as well. So it's important that the wisdom that we have, we must actually share it with the world.
Yes,
we must share it with our children, biological. I remember, and Dr. said, make sure that you share it first with your biological children.
Yes, definitely.
And while you are empowering many, I know you're also bringing up many children, even though they are not staying with you, but you started with yours. And they also, I know he's just also such a blessing to many young people out there. And he is actually a role model to many out there. And thank you so much for bringing up that young man.
Yes, thank you very much. Yeah.
And I must say, I also thank God for your family, because your family is not only focusing on their. I've heard stories, even though I didn't grow up in their times, but I've heard stories about the Matlapes, and now you being in the Mogoera, you also just share the same love with the families of Mogoera. So I thank you so much. This wisdom that we are sharing is important. It is not education. I always emphasize wisdom is not the fact that she has a diploma or she has many diplomas. It is not because I have doctorate, but wisdom is your ability to use this knowledge that you have. So if we do not use the knowledge that we have, if we have all these degrees and do not empower others, then it means we are not wise. So this is what I'm sharing in the book, to say, what kind of wisdom do we want to share with other people so that the world can be a better place for all of us? And Ostiti, with these coffee mugs, I always say, as you drink your coffee or your tea, whatever you love, remember the wisdom that you have and continue to spread it around the people that are with you. Many people that are still to come, for as long as God is still protected you and blessed you to be this beautiful, you can see as beautiful as He is. Really, we thank you at Home of Inspiration for sharing this time with us. Do you have the last words that you'd love to share with us? Anything that I might not have given you time to speak about?
No, yes, I would like to say, especially to young people, I would like to say, whenever you have a problem or you have something challenging to you, don't keep quiet. Say it out. If you cannot resolve the problem, go and get the help. There are people here outside here, the professionals, even people at home who can help you out. And whatever the good that you want to do it correctly and rightly. Don't hesitate to do good. Good is always the best. And the other thing that I would like to say, if there is a problem, it must be always the young people, please start at home. Let the parents know that you are having a problem, so that they try to help you. If they cannot, they will always do something else, do the best. That is now the passion that I have to help the young people, because now they are the people, they are the leaders of tomorrow. If we don't really go out and support and help them, the future will be doomed.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you so much for those words of wisdom. And thank you, my viewers, for tuning in. And remember to subscribe to this video, to like and comment. And for those who have not yet ordered the book, it's still available. You can email us at rasabuya3@gmail.com. Thank you until the next video in December. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day.
Good day. All right, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.